Folks, the 2022 World Championships of Pokemon VGC is upon us. It's been a long wait, about a 3-year wait, but it's great to be spectating again. Day 1 is completed, so we know who's moving on to Day 2. I personally have watched a couple of the matches on the stream, but I've got some catching up to do. So I figured we would watch and react to some of the matches that happened today, 2 of them. By the way, I'm Carl, CrawlShots online. I'm basically starting this YouTube channel. I've had it for a long time, but I haven't uploaded a video in like 11 years. So I feel very new to all this, but I wanted to make a YouTube channel dedicated to reactions and analysis of VGC content, because that's something that I feel like will help anybody who wants to just grow in their understanding of strategies in VGC, board states, wants to grow an appreciation for the game itself, wants to grow an appreciation for the history of VGC. I want to do all those things, so part of it is selfish, why I'm doing this channel, but I think it'll be really beneficial. It could be beneficial for you, for a lot of you. So, and fun. I mean, who doesn't like to watch high-level VGC and to analyze it and break it down? So that's what this channel is going to be all about. So I hope you stick around. But let's get into the first match that we're going to watch together. This is round 5 of day 1. And it's versus David Koutesh versus Kohei Inomoto. Kohei is from Japan. David is from the Czech Republic. And I know the result of this match, but I haven't watched it. So I wanted to react to it fresh with you guys. Now, I chose it because, I mean, David's team. Look at David's team. Have you seen anything like this before in 2022? Dialga Yveltal is a really unique combination. It's a combination that frankly makes sense, but it's just not. I'm not sure if I've ever seen that pair in this metagame. And there's 4 flying types on this team. It's crazy. You almost never see Gyarados. Kohei's team is a proven team. It's kind of an off-meta, but like an off-meta proven strong team. My friend Leonard Kraft brought this same 6 to Worlds. I know others have as well. So the sets on that team can vary. The Feeny sets, the Palkia item, the Calyrex item, the moveset on Porygon. Actually, I take that back. Leonard Kraft had a Regieleki, not a Porygon. But excited about this matchup here, so let's get into it. This is round 5, and they're both 4-0 here. So having a great run so far. And my first thoughts are, I think Yveltal does really well in this matchup. But it has to watch out for Glacial Lances from Calyrex, big time. So the lead, so we're looking at probably a Prankster Thundurus, because it's max HP. That's what I would assume. You'd imagine Dialga is the main offensive threat on David's team. It doesn't have much HP investment. It's probably Life Orb. And that's probably just his way of, he leads it, he Dynamaxes turn 1, he does a ton of damage. I have a feeling that's his game plan. Kohei leads Porygon 2, and Palkia wants to set up Trick Room, no doubt. Palkia could max here. So let's see what happens. Something that could happen is Tapu Fini could swap in here to protect Palkia from Dragon-type attacks. Okay, that does not happen. Dialga does max turn 1, no surprise. Wants to do a ton of damage quickly. It's interesting because David's team is not hyper offense, I don't think, looking at it. I mean, it doesn't have the characteristics of a hyper offense team like Prankster Tailwind. A lot of hard, fast hitting Pokemon. Okay. The turn 1 ally switch. Turn 1 game 1 ally switch. No fear. And that's a crit. Wow. So, Porygon 2 very bulky, of course. It is Life Orb Dialga. Okay. Max Geyser. Does not take out the Thundurus. Yeah, so definitely support Thundurus. Prankster with Taunt. Bulky. Citrus Berry. Yeah. So you wonder if something like an Eerie Impulse is going to come out into the Palkia. That was a good play by David Koutesh, going from Max Quake to boost the defenses. Yeah, so here's the Feeny. He wants to swap in and half the damage from Dragon type attacks. There is the Eerie Impulse. Okay. So this is, I mean, this is strong from David here. Initially. That's a ton of damage. Probably leftovers Feeny. So Palkia is quite healthy. Also taunted. Ferrothorn. So interesting. David wanted to taunt the Porygon in turn 1 to stop Trick Room from going up, presumably, but has a Ferrothorn in the back, which does great in Trick Room. So, but Ferrothorn is looking good here. Okay, Palkia just hard swaps. Just forfeits its third turn of Dynamax. Gets Porygon back in. Another Max Quake. Yeah. Iron Defense, yeah. Okay, so this Ferrothorn, you kind of get the feeling it's just going to win this game. It's got a special defense boost. It's at +2 defense. The Pokemon on the field for Kohei are really not able to touch it. Unless there's like a flamethrower from Palkia or something when the rain runs out, but that would be unusual. Roar of Time, big damage. Oh yeah. Even with Misty Terrain up, it doesn't matter. I mean, that was half damage and it still KO'd Palkia there. Recover, Body Press, yeah. Lots of damage. That's a ton of damage. So definitely Calyrex in the back. Yep. No Incineroar means that it's going to be really hard to touch this Ferrothorn. I think Kohei hopes for a crit here from Calyrex to win. Well, he could get some he could get some KOs and get his attack boosted that way. And then maybe is able to do enough damage to the Ferrothorn, but Body Press is just doing so much. Okay, Porygon 2 hangs on. Iron Barbs is funny. I wonder if Ferrothorn has Leech Seed. I would imagine it does. Probably wants to go for that on the Calyrex. You wonder who David has in the back. He hasn't revealed his 4th Pokemon yet. He's going to take out the Porygon. Yes, this should be sealed up. He does get an attack boost here. Does he go for Leech Seed, Ferrothorn? Just Body Press. Yeah, but still quite healthy. So we'll get to see the last Pokemon from David. Yveltal wouldn't be surprising. Yeah. So this should just be foul play and GG. Yeah. And it's not Life Orb Yveltal, so probably Assault Vest, but could be some kind of a Tailwind, like Black Glass's Tailwind or something like that. Okay. That was really strong from David. I mean, the Thunderous support lead along with the damage of Dialga was just oppressive. The immediate taunt, the eerie impulse. Kohei's gonna have to get creative. I don't know if you lead Incineroar here and go for Fake Out into the Thunderous and Trick Room with Porygon or something like that. Could also try to redirect with Amoonguss. We'll see how he adjusts. But, I mean, that was dominant from David. He clearly knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what to lead into a team like Kohei's. And what do we see from Porygon? We saw Ally Switch. We saw Recover, right? I don't think we saw any damaging moves. You would imagine it's foul play. But I always wonder with Porygon, when you see Ally Switch, it's like, what move is... did Porygon give up on to make room for Ally Switch? So it could be that Porygon doesn't have an Eerie Impulse. That's probably the case. And it shows Landorus Incarnate there. Yeah, but I was going to say, but I think it's Landorus Therian, and it is. Okay, so Kohei did adjust with the Fake Out lead. But... this doesn't look that much better for him. There's just so much immediate pressure from that Dialga. So does Kohei go for a big read here and just hard swaps to Feeny? Expecting a Dragon move to go into Palkia? Who knows? It's kind of a risky play from David in a sense, knowing that the Feeny could come in, but David's up a game. So when you're up a game, sometimes you're willing to go for plays like that, go for risky plays. Kind of all or nothing. So the Palkia does go out, and it is the Feeny. Okay. Okay, so this will be interesting. If it's a Max Dragon into the Feeny, or if it's maybe a Max Quake into Incineroar, or there could be a Max Quake into Feeny as well. And I like the... oh, Rockfall. Okay. Yeah, Focus Sash. Focus Sash Incineroar is really common on these Palkia Calyrex Ice compositions. So that's not too surprising. But good call from David. He didn't fall for the Feeny swap there. Parting Shot's big. So Palkia should be able to take... You assume it maxes here. It should be able to take hits pretty comfortably with the Misty Terrain up. Reducing the damage of Dragon-type moves. And the fact that Palkia's at -1 special attack. I'm sorry, Dialga is at -1 special attack. And once again, the Ferrothorn is just looking so hard to deal with. And the Incineroar was brought, but it's already... I mean, it's at 1 HP already. Like... okay. Still a lot of damage. It does have Max Flare! Oh my goodness! So I mentioned that it could have a fire type move in when we were watching game 1. I really didn't think it did. Okay. Well, good protect from David, but this is a lot different now. The Ferrothorn is not looking nearly as comfortable as I thought it was. And as David thought it was, I'm sure. Yveltal, yeah. So probably Assault Vest. We'll probably see here, though. Oh, Feeny has Protect. Wow, that's unusual. Max Quake. Into Feeny. Wow, Kohei is playing a lot better this time. Yeah, that's definitely Assault Vest. That was Sun boosted. And Yveltal took that well. So Yveltal's in a good spot. You just click Snarl. This feels like a pretty even match right now. They both still have all 4 of their Pokemon. Incineroar has 1 HP, but the Sandstorm is gone. So it can come in safely at some point. Flash Cannon's probably not going to KO. Yeah. Dialga hangs on. Moonblast does drop special attack. Interesting. David might have actually wished that the Dialga goes down there so he could bring in Landorus and just Earthquake. The Dialga's at -2 special attack, I think, so it's not hitting that hard, but it will go down to Life Orb here. Life Orb Recoil. Yveltal's still looking pretty good. I mean, he could go for Oblivion Wing just to get some health back. Calyrex, ooh. Swapping the Calyrex in on a potential... Yeah, but he does go for an Oblivion Wing. I was going to say a Dark type attack, but he takes that really well. War of Time. Okay. Uh-oh. Muddy Water. Does no damage. Okay, and no accuracy drops. So I feel like this is still looking pretty good for David. Calyrex does not want to be sitting in front of Yveltal with Trick Room not up, because foul play is imminent, and Earthquake is going to do a lot. Okay, White Herb Calyrex, so not Weakness Policy. Oh, okay, wow. Wow, good play. Yeah, so I think what Kohei wants to do here, protect Calyrex, let Feeny go down, so we can get in Incineroar and go for Fake Out Trick Room. But David is not letting that happen. He did not take down the Feeny. That was a very good play from David. I can't remember how much health the Palkia has left, but that's going to be a big decider here. Because this position is obviously very good for David. But if Palkia is able to come back in... And obviously it threatens the Ferrothorn. Say it's faster than the Landorus. It threatens the Landorus too. But this does look good for David. So Leech Seed, yeah. Yeah, I figured I had Leech Seed. That's the standard set. Iron Defense, Body Press, Leech Seed, Protect. Is really strong. Ferrothorn was already good in past years. But the addition of the Iron Defense, Body Press set in Generation 8 is just... It is a menace. Yeah, so Palkia is healthy. It's probably going to take a Snarl here. But it does threaten. Still not knocking out the Feeny. That could be a problem here, actually. Oh, Thunder. Wow, it's got all the coverage. Wow. So Kohei, I think, was expecting David to protect the Ferrothorn there, but David just, no fear. Knew that Kohei had to respect his protect Ferrothorn play, and just didn't protect Ferrothorn, and just did damage. Definitely GG now. He still doesn't protect Ferrothorn. That's awesome. Wow. So I gotta say, it's awesome watching the World Championships and watching someone just play fearlessly like that. And not only fearlessly, I mean, you can play fearlessly and you can lose. But David played like he was in Kohei's head. You know? He got the right protects. I thought after the first few turns, after Palkia revealed the Fire-type move, I thought Kohei was in a great position. But David got all the right calls with protects and all the right calls with no protects. And that's just the kind of stuff that you love to see. I mean, that's high-level VGC. David's understanding of what Kohei felt like was the threat. Like he doubled the Yveltal that one turn with fake out and an attack from Palkia, because Kohei knew that Yveltal was Assault Vest and that was a free double target. But David knew that Kohei knew that Yveltal was an Assault Vest variant and that that would be a free double target. And so he didn't protect the Fairthorn. He's like, you're probably going to double my Yveltal here, and I'll just, even though Fairthorn could die, I'll just keep it alive and do damage. I mean, good stuff. I hope. I know David's going on to day 2, and I hope he does great. His team is really cool. I would love to see the Gyarados. I would love to see what some more of his team does. The quadruple flying is just super cool. Let's skip to the next one here. So this one is the last round. This is round 8 of day 1. And it's between Tatsuki Wakita of Japan and Adiyata Subramanian of the USA. Adiyata goes by Adi, and he's a friend of mine. And I have watched this set. This is the set that I watched the closest of the whole day. And so I know how it goes, and I just figured I'd watch it again with you guys and kind of break it down, analyze it where I could. And of course, I had a personal interest in watching the set too, because Adi is a friend of mine. But yeah, let's get into it. And actually, before we get into it, hit subscribe. This is like I said, I haven't uploaded a video in 11 years, and this is a new venture for me, doing YouTube. But I have a lot of ideas. I want to do player interviews. I want to do VGC history stuff. I want to do reaction and analysis for World Championship matches, current format, past format, retro stuff. So, if you like this kind of thing, please hit subscribe, drop a like in the video, and leave a comment too. I'd love to hear from you guys what your favorite moments from day 1 were, what players you're rooting for, what nations you're happy to see do well. Some of the highlight moments for you, what you're excited for day 2, what you're excited about for day 2. But yeah, let's get into this one. So round 8, both players are at 5-2. So this is a win and in situation. The winner will go on to day 2. The loser will not. The loser is done with Worlds. Like the Reggie on Tatsuki side, or a Kartana that also has access to next airstream. Whimsicott with Prankster Tailwind. An audience and a couple of his friends running a cool Calyrex Ice composition that I haven't seen I've seen some of throughout the format, but not one of the more common archetypes. But very strong, obviously. And then Tatsuki with the Swordfish, we call it Swordfish, the Zacian Kyogre Swordfish variant of Double Grass with Whimsicott as the Tailwind setter. I mean, this is a proven composition, very strong. So Regieleki Calyrex from Audi, Incineroar and Kyogre from Tatsuki, and you'll notice the Incineroar's HP. If you've played VGC at all, you're used to seeing HP stats like 200, 201, 202, which is max or near max HP for Incineroar. 171 kind of gives you vibes of like, is this Incineroar offensive? Is it a focus sash? We'll see. A lot of offense on the turn 1 leads from both players here. And this is a weather war game, so you're going to see both players making a lot of switches to maintain the control of weather. Adi, of course, I mean, here he does not make a switch into Groudon. He just goes for the double protect option, which is solid. He figured Tatsuki would go ahead and Dynamax, and he essentially burns a turn of Dynamax. Regieleki does take a ton of damage, though. And Assurance from Incineroar. Assurance. Assurance doubles in power if it goes second. Quite strong. Okay, Whimsicott. And there's the Groudon. So Groudon coming in to reduce the damage of Kyogre, but the tricky thing is that Kyogre's gonna get its rain back up here with a Max Geyser. So Volt Switch chips the Whimsicott. Adi's still opting not to Dynamax. He's trying to save it. He's trying to stall, which is it's a good strategy. I mean, it's I don't want to say risky because Adi knows what he's doing, but it can go south. The stalling strategy can go south if the other team just blows through with offense and just gets like a couple knockouts with their Dynamax. Then the stalling strategy isn't so good because then you're left with like two Pokemon that probably aren't even very healthy and you just can't do much at that point. But Adi's doing this pretty well. He has two unhealthy Pokemon now, so he is taking a lot of damage. Incineroar can fake out, of course, to stall the last turn, fake out the Whimsicott. But this is tough for Adi. I mean, the rain is up and Groudon's on the field. Yeah, so Groudon has to go back out to come back in later to get the sun up. And Dynamax Kyogre is just... When you don't have a Gastrodon, Dynamax Kyogre is really tough to deal with. So the Regieleki goes down. And the Regieleki is... I mean, you look at Tatsuki's team, and the Regieleki, provided it's an offensive variant, can really do a lot of damage to his whole team. So that going down was probably not part of Adi's initial plan. But he gets the parting shot off. He does save his Groudon. Calyrex is full health. So let's see what Adi can do here. Kyogre, of course, I mean, is still quite healthy HP-wise. Wants to swap out, come back in later with the rain back up. And Intimidate here is just very good in this situation, of course, with two physical attackers on Adi's side. Groudon Dynamaxing, and Adi's still in this. I mean, he has Trick Room available. Charm. Charm is brutal. That's a tech on Whimsicott that was popping up, leading up to Worlds. I was hearing about that a lot. So Adi does not go for Trick Room there, which is interesting. I'm sure what happened was he probably wanted to cover for a taunt from the Whimsicott. He didn't want to risk just having a dead turn where Whimsicott goes for taunt and shuts down Trick Room. He wanted to get the KO on Whimsicott with Glacial Lance and get the attack boost. But the problem is now Zacian is in and Trick Room is not up, and Calyrex is staring down a Zacian and an Incineroar. And Groudon's at -2. Or -3? -3, yeah. Fake out. Yep, does a ton to Groudon. That was a very safe play from Tatsuki. He's playing really solid. So even at -3, Groudon's Max Quake is a 2-hit KO on Zacian, so that's something. Calyrex is still healthy. But Groudon presumably is Assault Vest. On these kind of compositions, Groudon tends to be. That's the most common item. So it can't protect. It's susceptible to Behemoth Blade here. Okay, but Adi gives up his last turn of Dynamax, just hard switches out. Incineroar comes back in for the Intimidate. Solid play. Yeah, that was a tough call. I mean, Adi figured he was going to go down to a Behemoth Blade plus Flare Blitz, or a Behemoth Blade plus Assurance. Protects there, but he didn't need to protect, really. But that's a hard call to make. So fake out plus trick room is what you assume here. Which slot does Adi fake out? I mean, and taunt comes out. So here's the thing. When I was watching this on live on stream, taunt came out and I was like, ah man, that's a bummer. You know, it turned out Incineroar had taunt after all. And I started thinking about it. I was like, wait, we saw Assurance, we saw Flare Blitz, we saw Fake Out, right? Did we see Fake Out? And we saw Taunt. So no parting shot on Incineroar. So this is some kind of offensive Incineroar that doesn't have parting shot. Imagine bringing no parting shot Incineroar to Worlds. Parting shot is its best move. Crazy. And also crazy that it just happened to come up in this kind of situation where all the other moves have been revealed. And so Adi's thinking like, okay, I know the moveset of Incineroar. I can just Trick Room here freely with Calyrex. Nope. And Adi could have faked out the Incineroar there, but his play totally made sense. So there the item is revealed. The Beery Berry Calyrex takes that Behemoth Blade really well. And here comes the double up with Assurance, and Calyrex barely hangs on. Parting shot. I think that getting a KO there, Adi getting a KO with his Incineroar onto one of those two Pokemon, I think would have been better than going for parting shot. Because now Kyogre comes in, you assume Kyogre's faster than all the Pokemon on Adi's side, and Kyogre just click spread water moves, and that's GG. And I'm sure Adi knows that. So adjustments for Adi game 2. I think he has all the tools he needs here, but again, the Kyogre is just so strong. When you set up the sun, it just sets up the rain right back up. And there's no Gastrodon to soak up the water moves. So, but I mean, Kyogre is one of the best Pokemon in the format, so it's not like Adi's caught off guard by a Kyogre. Like he's definitely prepped against this Pokemon many times. And so maybe he goes for a Regieleki-centric game plan where he just Dynamaxes Regieleki, tries to protect it with Fake Out pressure, maybe with Grimmsnarl stuff, keeping the sun up if he can. He could go with a Charizard-centric game plan where, again, he just tries to keep the sun up as much as possible. Hopes that Tatsuki does not bring Regieleki. But he shouldn't here. Okay, game 2, and there's the Charizard. Staring down a Kyogre, but the sun will be up, so there's a window here for Adi. Man, Tatsuki played airtight game 1. Just did not let Adi have any room to breathe, really. So Adi's switching out the Groudon to not only keep it healthy, but maybe predicting that the Kyogre might swap out to get the rain back up later. Or Dynamaxing the Kyogre. Yeah, Adi probably figured he's going to Dynamax Kyogre. He's going to get the rain up. So I want to switch out Groudon so I can get the sun back up on turn 2. And there's the Focus Sash with the 171 HP Incineroar. What a bring to Worlds. So Max Lightning, he doesn't even get the rain back up. But that double up just KOs. He didn't even go for assurance, which is surprising. So Adi did not get the wildfire chip. But electric terrain is up. And Regieleki's on the field. And if it knows a move like Rising Voltage, it's going to do a lot of damage. And like I said, the rain's not even up. The sun is still up, so Calyrex is going to take these hits pretty well. Yeah, there's the charm. Tons of damage, not quite a knockout. Hailstorm. Yep. Kyogre's too strong. And he doesn't go for Trick Room. Which is honestly surprising to me. I think that Adi was expecting a potential taunt once again from Whimsicott because we haven't seen the full moveset yet. But the Glacial Lance gets a critical hit on Kyogre, and that really mattered because Calyrex was at -2 attack. Joe's so funny. Wouldn't you know, it's Calyrex's worst nightmare. Zacian. Yeah, Calyrex can live any combination of attacks here. Again, he just has to not get taunted by the Whimsicott, but Whimsicott has not taunted yet this set, so kind of presume that it doesn't have it. So Adi's not in a bad spot here. Another charm, though. The Babiri Berry should do like 60%. Yep. Still no Trick Room. And now I'm just getting the feeling Adi is he knows something I don't know, or he knows something about the speed interactions that I'm not aware of. Because I would think that you really want Trick Room. But now they think about it some more. He's probably just being extra safe, covering for the taunt play again. Like, yeah, we haven't seen it yet, but maybe he was saving it for this moment. And if I get taunted, it's a dead turn for my Calyrex, and I could lose. So I'll just go for damage. But it's working out for him, even though his Pokemon were at -2. Well, Calyrex was at -1 after got a KO. Groudon at -2. It still pulls through. A Behemoth Blade crit might have KO'd the Groudon there. That was a little bit scary. I didn't see the exact HP, but... Okay, 1-1. At this point, when I was watching it, well, just before this, after Adi lost his Charizard after turn 1, didn't even get Wildfire up, I said to my wife, she was walking by, I was like, I think Adi's going to lose. It's not looking good for him. The fact that he pulled back that match and got a score on the board is really impressive. Joe's saying he's not seeing the importance of Calyrex in the matchup because of how it gets neutered by Charm so badly. It takes damage from Incineroar and Zacian so much. But Calyrex is Adi's Trick Room setter. He doesn't have another one. It's his speed control. And it's his restricted Pokemon. I mean, it's one of them. So I think Adi has to bring it. Okay. I like this lead from Adi, but Tatsuki really changes it up. He hasn't led Zacian yet. So it probably doesn't want to stay in here, though. Facing down a Groudon and a Regieleki, but we'll see. Or he might just protect. But good switch from Adi. Yeah, Zacian was really threatened there. Protect and Charm. Great play, man. The charm is just so good. Such a good call. That's like the least amount of damage I've ever seen Precipice Blades do. So Fake Out is active, obviously, into the Zacian, but Zacian likely switching out into Kyogre. Or Incineroar. Okay, the Whimsicott goes out into Kyogre. Yeah, good play. Tatsuki doesn't even need Tail End hardly in this matchup. He does outspeed the Alecki though. So there's no Tail End here, and there's no... And Alecki's on the field. Adi could have gone for a parting shot there. I think Zacian switching out was a little bit telegraphed because it was at -1 and it was facing down Groudon and Incineroar. Or not -1, it was at neutral. But Adi goes for Fake Out. Man, parting shot would have been so good. Parting shot, get Groudon back in, get the sun back up before Kyogre can do anything. But Kyogre doesn't like that position. Doesn't want to take an attack from Alecki. But Alecki's in a pretty good spot here. Yeah, and Adi respects the fact that Kyogre was on the field, gets his Groudon back in. But Tatsuki was one step ahead. He switched Kyogre out, knowing that the Groudon would come in. And, being threatened by Regieleki. That's not good for Adi. Yeah. This is a great move from Tatsuki. You're able to survive the Max Lightning. And your Incineroar is offensive, so why not Dynamax it? This was probably not the only time in Day 1 of Worlds that he Dynamaxes his Incineroar. And that damage that's a lot of damage. So now Whimsicott can Tailwind. Could still charm the Groudon, but I think you want the speed control here. Max Guard. So I think Adi called that turn. Because otherwise, why would you swap out the Groudon there? Groudon could have gone for Precipice Blades or Fire Punch into the Whimsicott. But I think Adi called that. The Max Guard on Incineroar, and he attacked the Whimsicott slot instead. So now he has an active Fake Out on to Zacian. There's the Fake Out. No other play, really. And Incineroar outspeeds Regieleki under Tailwind. I mean, you do not see that. I had a bad feeling, though, when I was watching this the first time that would happen. Because Adi's team is relatively slow and doesn't need a super fast Regieleki. It's probably modest and probably doesn't have a lot of speed investment. And then looking at this Incineroar, I mean, there's no HP investment pretty much. And we already know that it's offensive and has a couple offensive moves, and it's probably quite fast. So sure enough, Tailwind is up and Incineroar outspeeds Regieleki, and that is bad for Adi. Yeah, so as Joe said, there's no more Charm, which is good for Adi. But this pressure, Groudon goes down. Not much he could do about that. So now this is a huge turn. Huge turn for both players. I'm going to pause it. Incineroar has 1 HP. It miraculously lived after the Flare Blitz recoil with 1 HP. Zacian's healthy. Tatsuki obviously has the speed advantage here. Adi's down to his last 2 Pokemon. They're both healthy. But Calyrex has not been able to sit Trick Room this whole set so far. And I'm thinking to myself, it's time to set Trick Room. You've got 2 slow Pokemon. Even Tatsuki's Incineroar, which is normally slow, it's not slow. It's a fast one. And he's got Kyogre in the back too. Kyogre's healthy, unfortunately, for Adi. But the big thing about this turn is, what is Adi's Incineroar going to do? It has active Fake Out. So it can either fake out the Zacian, can fake out the Incineroar, which would be a KO on Incineroar, or you could call the Incineroar switching out into Kyogre. And that's a reasonable play from Tatsuki because Incineroar would get another Intimidate off later if it swapped out now. And the Kyogre coming in, I mean, it's not going to take... What damage is it going to take? Like, what can Adi even do about that? If he wants to, like, call that and do damage to that slot, he would have to hit Kyogre with a Dark-type move with Incineroar and also high horsepower that slot with Calyrex. And that's just... Like, Adi would never do that. So and also the Kyogre coming in protects the Zacian from a fire-type move from Incineroar. Cuts that damage down. So... Adi's got to call. I mean, really, it comes down to Adi's got to call this turn. You fake out the Incineroar to stop a potential taunt, because Adi's got to respect the fact that he could just click taunt into Calyrex, stop Trick Room. Do you fake out the Zacian and prevent the damage that Zacian can do, or a potential substitute or something like that, and risk the taunt coming out from Incineroar, or do you go for just the read of let's not fake out Incineroar because Kyogre's coming in on that slot, and let's, I don't know, maybe hit it with a Dark-type move and set up Trick Room or something like that. Big turn for Adi here. And big turn for Tatsuki because he has to get it right too. Both players are really taking their time to think here. This is it. The set comes down to this. So there goes Incineroar. He preserves his Incineroar with 1 HP for Intimidate later. He gets the Rain up. I mean, that's a safe switch. And there goes the fake out. And no Trick Room from Adi. So Adi... Actually, I don't know what Adi was thinking there. As amazing of a player as he is, I don't know what he was thinking there. Because if you're faking out the Incineroar slot, then you're stopping the taunt. And you have a free Trick Room there. But he does not set Trick Room. And Trick Room is not up, and so Tatsuki just has the faster Pokemon, and it's just a lock from here. Yeah, Adi forfeits. GG. So I mean, bummed that my friend did not make it on to day 2, but he made it to 5-3 on the day. That's a great record for Worlds, so congrats to Adi. And Tatsuki makes it on to day 2 with a 6-2 record, so his team looks like standard-ish if you're just looking at the 6 Pokemon, but at least the Incineroar set and the Whimsicott set are definitely really interesting, and I wish him the best for day 2. So let's look at who is in day 2. It's probably kind of small for you guys. But a lot of Japanese names. Not a ton of Americans. I think I see 5 American flags there. Of course, this does not count the players who qualified for day 2 by earning a lot of CP, championship points. This is just the players who played in day 1 and did well enough to advance to day 2. They went 6-2 or better. And looking at the teams, I mean, there's some cool standout ones here. Nathan Ortiz, he goes by Cortex VGC. He has been running this. Well, he's kind of changed it up. This iteration is a Curum White and Calyrex Shadow team with Urshifu, and he's changed up the supporting cast. He used to have a Talonflame on the team. That's a sweet team, and I think there's a couple others that are running that composition as well. Ben Grismer, he was on stream. I haven't watched his match, but he's running the same six. And I think there's one other who made day two, which is just incredible that they all made day two with that incredibly unique team. Um, Another stream match that I need to watch is Shade Vieira's Show Me Honami's match, because he has a really unique team. Double steel restricteds. Actually, it's triple steel. There's a Ferrothorn too. There's a Meowstic, two Genies. I mean, that team is really cool. So yeah, so good to be watching Worlds again. So excited for day two and Top Cut after that. And best of luck to all these players. I mean, we all just love to see good VGC. Let's go Maddie, representing Ireland. Maddie's a friend of mine. Brought Rinya's son. Very solid. I see several Rinya's sons here, which is no surprise. I mean, that has been the dominant team throughout the format. And wouldn't be surprised to see Eric Rios and who knows, maybe Joe UX9. Some other day two players who advanced to day two already with their CP. Wouldn't be surprised to see them use that team as well. But that's going to be it for this one, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'm kind of blurry here. Sorry about that. Yeah, let me know in the comments. You know, any feedback? I mean, like I said, this is my first time doing this in a long time. First time doing VGC content. I'm going to experiment with different settings and things. I might try to react to the videos with no sound on the videos next time. As I was doing that this time, I was like, yeah, maybe that'd be better. Just have no sound. And maybe I can skip around a little bit better or watch faster or something like that. Or yeah, just leave comments if you have any ideas how I can make this better for you guys. But I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.